Yeah, once upon a time there were some friends who went to watch a concert at the Royal Albert Hall in London. What they didn't know is what was going to happen next. They weren't in London at all, they were in Manchester. This was really crazy because before they were in London, when they realised they were on the wrong train, but what happened next, it was quite extraordinary. There was some drunk youths on the train. They were causing some real disorder on the train. The conductor had to keep the youths off the train, but the youths wouldn't leave the train. However, the youths were escorted off the train and the youths would get arrested by the police who were waiting on the platform at Stockport. However, in a twist, the friends, when they arrived at Manchester Piccadilly, they would buy a ticket to go to London Victoria. So the friends, they caught the train to London Victoria. What would happen would be quite remarkable. They made it to the Royal Albert Hall. This is crazy. From an impossible situation, they turned up at the Royal Albert Hall with only 10 minutes to spare. This is quite remarkable. If I'm honest, the scenes were electric. It was fantastic that they made it to the Royal Albert Hall. Later that evening, the friends, they went out boozing in a pub in the London city centre. They weren't to know what would happen next. Next would be nothing but an utter shambles. There were three masked men between 5 foot and 6'2" that were following the friends. They would try and take the valuables from their coat pockets, but they didn't succeed. They got away with nothing. However, this drama would not end. They would return 24 hours later. However, this would not be denied. However, they won't be denied as the three masked men. The three masked men made some personal remarks to the friends. The three friends were from the Lewisham area. They made threats to the friends. They told them to get onto the floor. The friends then decided to throw the police in a twist. The friends got on the train and headed back to where they had come. They had come from Newcastle. They were studying at Newcastle University doing a Maths and an English degree. The friends, they caught the train back to Newcastle and went to the Newcastle University. However, things would turn for the wrong reasons. One of the friends disappeared. It's not known what happened to them. None of them know what happened. It is all out of the blue. There are some clues. There's a real mystery. Who could have done this? How did they get to this situation? The friends were really concerned by what might have happened to their friend. I don't know if this is true, but the three masked men might have attacked the friend. This is a real concern for the friend. Northumbria police put out an appeal, and they were encouraged by the amount of people who came forward. The police are leading into some new inquiries. The police interviewed the friends. They broke down in tears that they really did not have an idea of what happened. They kept watching the news and they didn't hear any news. They tried to contact their friend, but he weren't answering his phone, and they weren't really sure what happened to the friend. Suddenly, this is unbelievable. What could have happened to the friend? The next day, the friends were studying at university when they found out the news, and the news was not good. What they were told were that they saw three masked men and him. They got into an argument. That was the last news they'd been told. They weren't told anything else. They were so confused, but the news would turn out not to be as bad as first fear. Suddenly someone appeared out of nowhere, and it was the friend. He said that he got seriously injured. The next day they reunited again and they went to watch Newcastle United at Sunderland at St James's Park with their friends from Newcastle University. They got them some free tickets. They went to the match. There was some real crowd disorder. The two fans clashed on the streets of the Newcastle City Centre. The police had to separate both sets of fans apart in case it got out of hand. Later that evening, the friends, they went to the library to do some coursework, but what would happen next would be really odd. One of the friends had to go to hospital for a checkup, and he was due a TB jab. The friends, they then received an unexpected phone call from Auntie Joshua out of the blue. The friends, their reaction was shock because they couldn't believe that they spoke to Auntie Joshua on the telephone. It was such a weird experience for them because Auntie Joshua trained in London. The next morning, the friends ran out of cereal. They ran out of cereal, so they went and called off to the supermarket to pick more cereal up. To pick up some more cereal, so they could have breakfast. But the language the staff at the supermarket used was absolutely revolting. They used words such as they were a disgrace to Newcastle City Centre, and said that they hope they don't get good qualifications. So the friends called security, and the manager came out of his office to see what was going on. When he heard the language that his staff were using towards these friends, the manager was horrified and couldn't believe that his staff would speak like that to the friends. The manager called them into his office and he decided he would fire them from their jobs. He would have none of it. the staff lost their cool, but the manager he gave them their P45. Suddenly the staff, they brought charges. They brought charges against the they brought charges. They brought charges against the students and the manager. It was now starting to get really heated. Now the employees went into manager's homes and took everything from his bedroom, and they were really starting to get out of hand. The police arrested them, but it was like a police chase. However, these employees who lost their jobs, they were not succeeding. They handcuffed them and gave them a life sentence in prison. They were disgraced to their jobs, and they really lost their cool. The next hour would explode into life. These staff came back. They broke out of prison, only for them to be put back in prison. These were nothing short of embarrassing. The legal team appealed to the High Court, but however, their appeal would not get overturned. The end, Sam Jenkinson. I finished it. I think it's done. Yeah, it's done. So.